Hi, I'm Haley, and if I'm being honest, I'm not a very good cook. But with the help from local chefs, I'll get better in the kitchen, one meal at a time.
Welcome to In the Kitchen at DeRocher's. I'm Haley, and today you are in for a treat. We're going to be sharing a cheers with Mike from Hannon's Block, and our guest chef today is Chef Kay. She was featured on the television show Chopped, and she's going to share with us her famous gumbo recipe. Let's dive into her story right now. We're back in the kitchen here with Chef Kay from Island Soul, and not only do you have your own establishment here in Toledo, but you've recently been on national television.
Yes, I have. It was exciting.
So tell me more about that. What was the process in even getting on there?
Well, unlike others, it's been 12 years for me. When I heard, I think you should start preparing some recipes, I was like, so does that mean? They were like, yes, we're gonna move you through it. And I was ecstatic because after 12 years, it was finally my time. So it was exciting and nerve-wracking all at the same time.
How far along did you get into the competition?
I got down to the dessert round, so the final two. Wow. Starting with 4 very talented chefs and 3 rounds, I made it to that very last round. When I got to the competition, I told myself, don't get chopped on the first round. Whatever you do not get chopped on the first round, because I was up against 3 fine dining Michelin star chefs who worked in grand establishments, and here I am. I'm just a food truck owner.
I do want to identify, you said you're just a food truck owner. You know what? Food trucks are the soul of community. And
that is true. That is true.
Give yourself some more. I'm a big food truck person. I actually have like a fitness shirt that says "Fitness for Food Trucks," so I'm a big fan.
I'll need that shirt. I definitely need that shirt. Yeah.
Yes. So I think it's a very important part of our community. So you had a 12-year journey to get to the national experience of Chopped, but what got you into food?
Whew. So it actually just fell into my lap. So growing up, I did not like the kitchen at all.
Oh.
Hated it.
Is that why you're in a food truck, so you're not in an official kitchen?
Sort of, kind of, yeah. You know,
Okay.
I never thought about it like that, but yeah. But it was a chore, and what kid likes chores? Exactly. But when I went to community college in the British Virgin Islands, I went for hotel management. And my advisor, she said, hey, if you take 2 more courses, you actually can graduate with 2 degrees. The professional student in me was like, 2 degrees before 21? Yes, let's do this. Lo and behold, it was food production 1 and food production 2. I was actually good at it. It was natural. I didn't have to think too hard about it. Didn't have to push. I was just natural at it.
I love that. So it started as it's a chore. You ended up finding a natural talent to it, and competitiveness has always been at your core.
Yes.
Well, Chef Kay, I am super excited to get into the dish we're going to do, but what can we expect in today's dish for In the Kitchen?
So today I'm bringing a little bit more soul and a lot of spice so you get that island flair to it. We're gonna do a Cajun sausage and chicken gumbo. And it's easy, it's a 1-pot meal. So if you're in a time crunch, and you don't like to do dishes, you can get it done in an hour or less with minimum dishes.
Well, Chef Kay, I am excited to get into your dish, and before we do that, we're gonna get into the mix. Mike, it's so wonderful to be here with you again.
Well, thank you for coming in.
I have to say, just coming into Hannon's Block, it just is so comfortable, it's so bright, and it's just the place that people can just kind of lounge and enjoy themselves, whether it's food or drink. And we have a couple of drinks that we're here talking about. So let's talk about this first vibrant pink one. What all is in there?
Yeah, so this first cocktail here is part of our spring summer list, Limoncello Cosmo. So it's spin off of traditional Cosmo. We make our own limoncello in-house. So we use that as our vodka substitute. Finish it off with a little bit of Agavero orange liqueur and fresh cranberry juice, and then garnish with a lemon, I'm sorry.
We garnish with a lemon because of the limoncello. Now unpack that for me because I'm not really familiar what all goes into a limoncello.
So limoncello is essentially high-proof vodka that is steeped with lemon peels for anywhere from 10 to 21 days. It absorbs all the oils from the lemon rind and essentially flavors the vodka.
And then we also have this other drink. Now I know off camera I called it the Pickle Delight, but what is it really called?
This is the Dirty Dill.
The Dirty Dill. Well, tell me all about this Dirty Dill.
So this is actually a creation of one of our bartenders, Jenna. This actually starts with a house-made pickle and pickle brine. So we're taking fresh cucumbers, we're brining them in a mixture of vinegar, salt, sugar, and different herbs and spices. And then we are using that juice to add to a traditional martini. So it's a classic martini. Instead of adding a mixture of olive juice, you get the pickle juice, get a little bit of dry vermouth in there as well, and then it's garnished with those fresh house-made pickles.
And when you were making it, I was really impressed because as you were shaking, you were also pouring, which first and foremost, my hand-eye coordination is not that good. So what were you doing as you were pouring into the glass, but also shaking?
So pouring into the glass was the vermouth, and
Okay.
the reason for that is just to not use too much vermouth to overpower anything in the drink. So it's just called washing the glass with the vermouth.
What do you enjoy most about the art of mixology?
I think the art of mixology, I think it allows for a lot of freedom. I think it also reveals the style of what your restaurant, even down to what your food. The main thing that I enjoy about mixing drinks is the ability to really create like a nice balance. Whether it's 1, 2, 3 different spirits, flavors, or a list of 7 or 8 things that you're putting into a drink. The most important thing to me is that it's balanced, and I think that end result can be really rewarding.
Perfect. Well, to that, shall we share a cheers to Hannah's Block?
Let's do it.
Do you have a favorite?
You can go with the Dill Delight.
Oh, that doesn't even exist. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, that is pickle. Tickled my pickle, that's what that was. Well, we appreciate your time.
Yeah,
Mike.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
In the Kitchen on Beacon is presented by DeRochers, your appliance experts.
Welcome back to In the Kitchen here at DeRochers. And Chef Kay, I am so excited to dive into your gumbo. But first, what all goes into this?
So gumbo being a one-pot meal, it's really all about the proteins that you use. So today we're gonna have like andouille sausage and chicken. Secondly, the aromatics, so peppers, onions, garlic, celery. But most importantly, what gives it the flavor and the thickness, it's a roux, which is simply equal parts of fat, so you can use oil or butter, and flour. And in this case, we're using gluten-free flour, which, you know, we gotta make everyone comfortable here, right?
Yes, I love that. But, you know, whether you need gluten-free flour or just regular flour, it's just equal parts fat and flour, right?
That's correct. So if
I
you
love
put
that.
1 tablespoon of oil, you put 1 tablespoon of flour. And then I'll have you start with the vegetables. So we're gonna get started with those onions and celery so we can build our flavors and our gumbo from here.
So, all right,
That's
let's
correct.
get into our veggies here.
All right, so here we got some celery.
Ooh, some celery.
Yep, so you want nice, so I started here. You just want some nice, all your vegetables, as long as they all have the exact size or close to, because we want everything to cook evenly, just go for it. It's a gumbo, it's rustic, don't have to be pretty with it. We just want to get everything going. And while you're doing that, I've already started cutting on some
Got
sausages.
sausage going. Ooh.
Yep, and I'll get it in the pan so we can start pulling out the flavor and the fat so we can start building our gumbo from here.
Ooh, this is a lot of knife for me. I got a lot of
We got to keep
power.
all the fingers intact,
Keeping
okay?
all the phalanges today.
There you go.
That is always the goal. Now, celery takes a little bit longer too, because it's a fibrous veggie, right?
Yes, it is. And the beautiful thing about a gumbo or any one-pot meal, the longer you allow it to cook when it's all together, obviously the more the vegetables cook, flavors come out some more. Like on day 1, the gumbo is going to be good. Day 2, it's going to be great. If it makes it to day 3, it's going to be phenomenal. Because the longer you cook it, or every time you reheat, you're just repurposing those flavors, those textures.
So it's almost like a fine wine. You know,
That's
it just keeps getting
right.
better and better. I
Just
like
keeps getting
it.
better
Yes.
and better.
I mean, just for you folks at home, I mean, we only have the sausage and oil going, and it already smells amazing.
That's all we need.
Oh, yes.
And low and slow. Like if you're in a rush, a good gumbo can take you anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. And it's even gonna be faster if you already have the roux finished. So once the roux is already finished, your main thing is building the flavor from rendering the sausage, and then we're gonna cook down the chicken, which I love chicken thighs. Dark meat is the sweetest meat, and it just has more flavor. The longer it cooks, like dark meat doesn't dry out quickly as breasts would.
Okay.
So I have chicken thighs already cut, and it is seasoned in some Cajun seasoning, some dried thyme, salt, pepper, and just let it sit there. When you're cutting your vegetables, think about when you take that big spoonful, once it's done, you want to get a piece of sausage, a piece of chicken, some celery, you want your first bite and all your bites to have a little bit of everything. So that's what we're going for.
I like that. Now with our peppers, we're going kind of more of these longer
Yeah,
cuts, right?
That's
okay.
right.
All right. At least I have a starting point here.
See, you can use any peppers that you want in it. That's the beautiful thing about gumbo. Like, I've already started with some yellow, some red, some greens. I like color. I don't know about you. I like the vibrancy that you get from these dishes. So you can go with all green peppers if you like, or you can go with, a multicolor of them. It's just about what your preference is.
Now, I do know that they're really high in vitamin C.
Yes.
But I will say, of all the peppers, green's probably my least favorite.
Really?
But it's,
Well, that's very true. I like the red.
The red and the yellow are probably my favorite. Although, selfishly, I think I'm more of an orange gal. I just think it's a perfect, it's not too sweet, it's not too bitter. Or the green's just a little, it tastes like it came from outside, which it did, but I don't want that in my mouth.
I hope it did come from outside.
Right.
And if it didn't, I would like to know where it came from. I need
That's
all
true.
the information
Do they have
of where
lab-grown peppers?
That's very
maybe.
true.
I don't know.
I'm doing some garlic here. One thing about me, I love, did I mention I love garlic?
Ooh.
Yeah, so.
Now, you did a unique trick here because you actually squashed it first.
Yep, I just smashed it with the back of the knife. It helps just make things easier for chopping.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah.
That's way easier than trying to be delicate with.
Yeah, no. Gumbo, again, it's rustic, it's a homey meal. It doesn't have, no one is going to take a spoonful and look at how you diced your garlic. So the sausage is nice, it's nice and brown on each side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it out from this pot, transfer it to a bowl, so that we can use the same pot to cook the chicken. And then once the chicken is done, we're just gonna add our vegetables. We don't like dishes, remember that. So we're keeping it all centralized into one pot.
I like that, yeah. I will say the cleaning part is what keeps me from cooking.
Trust me.
I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna cook if it takes more than 3 dishes.
This is why I have my brother. He's my dishwasher right now. Yep. So yeah, look at all that fat and that brown at the bottom of the pan. That's flavor. Look at that, nice and golden on the side. So we're gonna leave that there.
And that sausage was actually you got that from your grocery
Kroger,
store.
Walmart. If you want to be nice and fancy, you can go to your local meat supply store. So there's a spot that I went to. It's in Pemberville, I think it is. Frobo's, I think it's called. But yeah, you get your sausage from them, or whatever meats from them, or whatever local store. And yeah, but if you're just in a rush, go to Kroger, go to Walmart, House of Meats. You'll get it.
I know you chose a Cajun. Is that the preferred, or could someone get, if they have a more
delicate palate?
Yes. Would just regular sausage work?
I would say yes, you can. The premise of gumbo is because it's a New Orleans based dish. They're all about that spice. They're all about the flavor. And so Cajun sausage would be the go-to. But for someone with a delicate palate, an easy beef sausage, smoked sausage would work, and then you can always, tailor the amount of spice and the flavor levels to suit yourself.
Right. Perfect. Yeah, we got those Midwest palates, but we got some of that New Orleans spice, but some of us have been born and bred in the Midwest. We like corn though. We're corn-fed.
Don't put corn in the gumbo.
Do
not put corn in the gumbo.
No
it's
corn.
Not
We're not
meant
doing
for
that.
No. So we're gonna let this chicken cook down. It should take about, 3 to 5 minutes. And from there, it's just all this beautiful colors and vegetables. It's gonna go in here, and we're just gonna let it simmer. Again, 20 minutes tops for the entire thing to be done. If you wanna, impress, your guests or your significant other, leave it low and slow, go do some house cleaning, whatever you gotta do, come back after like an hour, and you'll see how that flavor just intensifies more and more.
Well, while we finish our chicken, we'll be right back here on In the Kitchen at DeRocher's.
In the Kitchen on Beacon is presented by DeRocher's, your appliance experts.
Welcome back to In the Kitchen here at DeRocher's. Chef Kay, oh my gosh, it smells so good. We have the chicken almost done, and now we're gonna be putting it together.
Yes.
So what are we throwing in?
We're throwing in every single vegetable or aromatic that we have so eloquently and delicately sliced up. So the gumbo, really all you need is the Holy Trinity: celery, onions, bell peppers. I like to be extra, and at the end, I'm gonna throw in some diced tomatoes just to add a little bit of acidity to open up those flavors a little bit more. But for now, all the diced onions and peppers that we have, you have so, delicately worked on. They're just all gonna go into one pot, all right? And I'm gonna season that with my Creole seasoning. This one is always in my pantry. This one, Slap Your Mama's, or if I make my own, it's always in my pantry. You can use whatever Cajun or Creole seasoning to your heart's desire, especially for those with the questionable and delicate palate. Yes, I would say go ahead and just go with your heart's flow. Go with it. So when you're cooking anything, and especially with like the gumbo, each layer, so we did the sausage, it already has its element of flavor. We cooked that. That has already started the first layer. Then we have the chicken, which again was seasoned with its own different element of flavor. So every single time we put something in the pot, we're adding layers of flavor. If you've noticed, onto this point, I have not added salt, because you don't have to have salt or an abundance of it for something to be flavorful. So you can always add, you cannot take out. That's why each layer, you just want to add a little bit at a time.
I mean, just at a glance, it's very colorful, and as like the heat is getting onto the greens, it's becoming a more vibrant green, like with the celery and the peppers. Oh, yeah. Yum.
So the vegetables, we just want to cook that down for like a good 2-3 minutes, somewhat translucent, because again, this is a one-pot dish. It will take some time to cook all the vegetables together, 20-30 minutes. So no need to overdo the vegetables now. As they cook longer, we don't want them to turn into mush. We at least want to keep some texture. We want to keep their shape. We want to see those colors. You worked very hard on dicing. We don't want to lose that. We don't. So while that's happening, I'm just going to go ahead and start mixing in some roux. And then in order to create the gravy, we're going to use some chicken broth.
Now, when you do chicken broth, I know there's a lot of varieties out there. Do you just get standard chicken broth, or would you suggest like low sodium or organic?
It is definitely a preference. For myself, now being pregnant, I can't have that much sodium, so I would go with low sodium, or else I'm gonna walk around with cankles. It's already not fun. But if you have no dietary restrictions and you're okay with, regular chicken broth, go for it. If you want to be extra snazzy, once again, and you want to what's the word I'm looking for? Impress your guests. You can make chicken broth yourself. All right, so I added the roux, and you can already smell toasty, nutty. That's what you get from a gumbo. All right, and you don't want that burnt, because it goes from like 0 to 100 on that burnt scale really fast. So you want to keep an eye on it. And at this point, I'm just gonna add the chicken broth.
All right.
So again, standard chicken broth from Kroger. Whoop. Got a little splash, but it's all right.
And are we putting the whole container in there? Yes. Is that what, 32 ounces?
This, yes, it is a 32 ounce.
I've mastered my grandmother's homemade chicken noodle soup, and we use a 32 ounce. That's the reason I know that shape.
32 ounces of this here chicken broth. Again, You don't have to use chicken. You can use vegetable or you can use beef because, again, the sausage, it is beef and pork, so you can add beef if you want. You can do a mixture. You can get snazzy as much as you want with it. So now that this is going here, we're going to let it come to a boil. And then we'll turn it down, let it simmer for a few moments, and we're just like at the cusp of having our lunch. Okay?
Smells amazing.
Yeah. And I already got the rice cooked. So the rice is done and it's waiting. If you want, you can do cornbread at any time.
See, we are corn fed. It goes
There you go.
back.
It all comes together.
We don't put it in the dish, but you can have it as a side.
But you can have it as a side.
I mean, cornbread's pretty good.
All right, so that's nice and thick.
Add our tomatoes in.
Add the tomatoes in.
All right.
And that was about like 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of tomatoes. And this is one ingredient that's typically not in the authentic New Orleans. So if you're out there and you're seeing me put tomatoes, don't fight me. Please don't.
This is your Midwest flair, right?
This is a
There you
Midwest
go.
Island
Perfect.
soul-esque type
No corn, but
flair.
tomatoes. There we
There
go.
you go. No corn, but we got tomatoes. All right, so this is the consistency that we're looking for. I love the fact that it has a lot of vegetables in there because, you know, we want a protein and vegetables and comfort, so that's what we're going for.
You just couldn't stay away from the good smelling food, could you,
I
Matt?
could not. I was working in the back and I had to come out and check things out.
Well, you're here at the Roches as the marketing director, but we're actually going to take a quick taste of this gumbo. So we'll let you take the first dig in.
Sure. This smells
All right.
so good. Gotta get some of the sausage and the veggies there. All right.
And I'll take a little bite with you. Oh, I gotta get sausage too. How did you do that? You did that so good.
Now,
Oh,
You got chicken.
I know my way around the pot.
Let's go in. Ooh, that's hot.
Wow.
All right, guys, goodbye. I'm just going to go take this pot and go.
That is great.
Thank you,
Man.
you.
Perfect spice level.
Woo! It's a little hot. It's hot. Woo!
I love it.
You love
You
it?
did a great job
Thank
with
you,
that.
thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed.
What's your meats in there? You got the chicken and the
smoked
sausage?
sausage.
That's
That's
it?
it.
Oh, man,
That's
that got
it.
great flavor.
It was very good, but I think I just burned my whole taste
Did
buds.
you?
It's okay. It was worth it. It was
It's
worth
still
it. all.
boiling,
as long
so I
as it was
imagine
worth it.
so.
As long as it was worth it. Don't worry, they'll rejuvenate. They'll be
Yeah.
they'll be
Perfect.
fine.
Perfect.
right.
Oh my goodness. Well, Matt, thanks for joining us.
Hey, you're welcome. That was easy.
you.
The best part of my job for the day.
I need to have your job.
I know.
When we come back, we're gonna taste this all put together here in the kitchen at DeRocher's.
In the Kitchen on Beacon is presented by DeRocher's, your appliance experts.
Welcome back to In the Kitchen here at DeRocher's, and as you saw, we had a delicious meal prepared. They are bold, they are set. Chef Kay, I'm ready.
I'm ready too.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. Shall we dig in?
Let's dig in.
I want to make sure I get some of that sausage in there because it's all about the meat, right? We talked about that.
Gotta have the protein in there.
Gotta get the protein. That's the way to do it.
Not gonna toot my own horn, but toot.
You deserve all the toots. It is spicy, but it's not.
Taking your face off.
It that, but it is like you said. You have the tomatoes. We have the roux, those thickening agents that kind of complement the spice, so you still have that soothing component to it as well as the spice. I'm loving it though. When you
I'm
have the
glad
rice,
you're
oh
loving
my
it.
gosh. I love how the rice is on here. It's just like a little ice cream soup. It's very good. Or scoop soup, gumbo.
There you go. Same difference.
For those folks at home that would love to enjoy more of your cooking, how can we find you?
So as of right now, Island Soul is at bay. I'm still doing some planning. I am going to be a new mom pretty soon, so I want to focus on that. After summer, then we're going to come back out with the food truck, possibly in September, for a big re-grand opening, so to speak. We're going to do bring in a lot of stuff from like Unchopped, that you see a little bit more of the island, a little bit of soul, but we got a sous chef in the making, so let's get the sous chef going and then we'll get the cooking going.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Chef Kay, for being on here. We'll definitely have to have you back.
Yes,
And
my pleasure.
Especially when we need some more spice up in here.
That's right.
Well, we'll see you on the next In the Kitchen.
In the Kitchen on Beacon is presented by DeRocher's, your appliance experts.